Hey there folks, Antar1011 here, back with a new UU battle. My opponent today is bean17o6. I absolutely recommend that you go check out his channel. There's a link in the description. So I think we met through the Natude Zat. I battled him before, and he's a really great person to battle, and he does his own narrations and everything, and that's great. Anyway, I lead off with Yuxi. He leads off with Chandelure. I don't want to take the Shadow Ball, so I switch out into Tux, who should resist it. And as you can see, I can take that hit. I take that hit pretty well. Even though I get the special defense drop, I'm pretty sure I can take one more. And I'm thinking that he's going to think the same thing and fear my Scald or Surf. Instead, I go for the free agility, but I really can't do anything to that Registeel, and I'm fearing the T-Wave, so I go ahead and switch out into Clank, who would take that T-Wave. Unfortunately, he predicts that, sets up the Stealth Rocks, and that's no good for me. Here, I predict his switch, set up a sub, and now I do carry the Shadow Punch on this thing, but it's not really going to do that much to his freaking Slowbro. But I get a crit, and I bring him down to almost 0, but he survives the hit. But that crit totally and completely mattered, and it's going to matter later in the game, as you will see. So, we cover a little bit of health with leftovers, and ordinarily I would just switch out, but I just want to get off the free hit, and just in case he predicts my switch or something like that and goes for the slack off, I go ahead and Shadow Punch his Zapdos on the switch. It actually does a fair whack of damage, over half, and I see here he does not have the leftovers, so he's obviously some kind of offensive set. I survive the hidden power, probably ice this gen, could be grass though. I go ahead and Shadow Punch again for the kill, and that Zapdos is down, so that's really excellent. But Clank is down to 134 HP, and I'm not going to want to stay in on a Chandelure. Go ahead and switch back into Tux, and he might go for the Shadow Ball again, or that I could probably take a Fire Blast. He goes for the Fire Blast, and I'm like, I can probably take that. Turns out I cannot take that. Tux is down, and I'm a little bit sad. So I'm thinking that he's probably choice at this point. So I send out Blake, my Arcanine, and here I see he's definitely choiced because he switches out his Chandelure as I go for the Wild Charge, predicting the switch, and I manage to take out his Slowbro, and I'm pretty sure I calced that and saw that Wild Charge would not have KO'd had I not gotten the crit earlier. So anyway, gonna switch Blake out and send out Kadzulu, not thinking that he's gonna use Fire Blast because that would be stupid. He goes for the Shadow Ball, and actually I do not take that as well as I thought. And at this point I'm like, well crap, I gotta fire this guy, oh well. But he actually switches. So I stay in, go for the Earthquake, and it's not gonna be super effective or anything, but it's going to do a lot to his Roserade. So now, I don't know what this Roserade's running, so I'm going to stay in thinking he might go for the Sleep Powder and miss. Instead, he goes for the Sludge Bomb. It's super effective. He gets a crit. That is going to take out my specially defensive Kadzulu. Not sure if that crit mattered. Oh well. Gonna send out Patrick on the free switch. I know that I can take one hit from this guy, and I'm thinking that he's probably not running the Sleep Powder, so he switches, leading me to believe, again, no Sleep Powder, or maybe he knew that, you know, considering I'm not taking any leftovers recovery, that I'm indeed a Chesto set. So anyway, he switches out here, predicting my Stealth Rocks quite excellently, and so he gets his Roserade back out onto the field. I guess he was actually predicting my switch into something else, but that didn't work out for him, and he's going to go ahead and switch his Registeel back out. There's really nothing I can do to this thing at all. I mean, that first hit that I got against it was a crit, and it did barely anything. So what am I doing here? Well, number one, I'm hoping to get a special defense drop. Number two, I'm hoping that he's going to predict my switch, send in someone else who will be hit by the Psychic, and that will be some excellent stuff for me. And as you can see, his Iron Heads aren't really doing anything to me. I'm actually really curious what this Registeel is running, because he's not running any kind of support moves as far as I can tell. I mean, even Seismic Talk, just standing on these guys would do a little bit more, I would think. But anyway, I keep going for the Psychic. It's not really doing anything, and I'm just basically staying in, stalling them out, just seeing what's going to happen. I think in a stall war, well, I guess in a stall war I would probably win eventually because I'd start getting the special defense drops, but I don't know. Anyway, I'm down to 44 HP. If I don't rest this turn, then I'm not going to be able to survive anything. I go ahead and rest, get back up to full health, and I'm going to wake up with the Chesto Berry. He could have predicted that and switched out into someone else and gotten a free switch, but I think actually this is his best counter to my Yuxi, so he's not going to do anything. Here I'm going to go ahead and switch out. and I go ahead and send out Clank. But unfortunately, he is going to predict that like a pro. It was like he was inside my head, and sends out Roserade. And so Roserade's going to outspeed, and it probably carries some either Giga Drain or Leaf Storm. Here he shows me it's Leaf Storm, and it is going to take out my Clank, but that is also going to lower his special attack, so I know that whoever I send out, it's going to be a free switch. So Roserade gains back a little bit of health. I go ahead and send out Arcanine, and again, now I'm down to pretty low HP here. I go for the Flare Blitz. He could have switched in Chandelure. I'm actually a little bit surprised that he didn't. But that's excellent. I take out his Roserade, and I am a happy camper. Out comes Chandelure. And, you know, I've got to switch out here, but I actually can't because I can't survive another round of rocks. And so Blake is going to get taken out. Now, I could have survived another round of rocks, but I would have had no health. So now I get the free switch into Hug-a-Bug. I'm going to predict his switch here, and he does go ahead and switch into his Registeel. And I'm going to go ahead and go for the Thunder. And it hits. It's going to do an amazing amount of damage, and it's going to get the Parahax. So I'm just hoping that he gets Parahaxed a little bit, although it doesn't look like he has any recovery moves. So I'm just going to go ahead and Thunder again and just see how much damage it does. And it does a decent amount. He goes ahead and goes for the Iron Head here. I wonder what his other moves were. It's really strange. It's almost like he's a mono attacking set or something. I don't know. T-Bolt or Thunder again. That's going to take him out, and that is excellent. Now I don't have to worry about the thing anymore, although I am down to fairly low HP. I've got 67 HP left. He sends out Chandelure, leading me to believe he's Scarfed. I go for the Sucker Punch like a pro. I take him out. Yeah, Life Orb Galvantulas with Sucker Punch used to be all the rage, but not so anymore, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, he's down to his last Pokemon, which is Machamp. I do not get a crit or anything, so he is going to take me out with a Dynamic Punch. And that's okay, because I've got one Pokemon left, and that is my Uxie. And Uxie carries Psychic, and it's going to outspeed this guy, and this is going to be the game. So, great game, bean17o6. Comment, rate, subscribe, and challenge, folks. Yeah, so long.